is up, everybody, and welcome back to week 3 of college game day. Let's get into it. Alright guys, to week 3 college game day. Great matchups this week, including this one right here, UNC UVA. That'll be our final pick of the day. I'll be there tonight. Look for me on TV. If you saw me on TV last week against Georgia State, comment. So let's get right into the matchups this week. First matchup, we have Nebraska and Oklahoma. Oklahoma 2-0, number 3 team in the country. Now, they are a little overrated, I will say that. Nebraska doesn't seem to be able to perform in big-time games, so I got Oklahoma in this one. Next matchup, New Mexico and Texas A&M. Texas A&M, number 7 team in the country. Texas A&M 2-0, favored by 30 points. Texas A&M wins by a landslide. Next matchup, Cincinnati and Indiana. Cincinnati, top 10 team in the country. Although they're only favored by 3.5 points, but they're still going to win on the road at Indiana. Next matchup, Virginia Tech and West Virginia at West Virginia. I think this will be my biggest upset of the day. I got West Virginia. West Virginia is still favored by 2 points, even though Virginia Tech is a top 15 team. In fact, they are number 15, but I still have West Virginia winning. Next matchup, Coastal Carolina and Buffalo. Coastal Carolina on their heading on their first road game of the year. They're 2-0 at home. Beat Kansas last week, and I'm trying to think of who they beat in the first week. I can't remember. But number 16 team in the country. I got Coastal Carolina winning this one. Next matchup, Michigan State and Miami. Miami is the most overrated team in college football. Got destroyed by Alabama. Almost lost to App State. So there's no way that they beat Michigan State in this one. Next matchup, Northern Illinois and Michigan. Michigan finally in the top 25. They're number 25 in the country. Favored by 28 points. Michigan wins. Next matchup, Purdue and Notre Dame at Notre Dame in South Bend. I got Notre Dame winning this one, although I do think it will be close. Next matchup, Alabama and Florida. At the Swamp, so it will be tough for the Tide to come over. But I do think that Alabama is, they deserve to be number 1. Actually, no, they don't. I think that Georgia should be number 1. But let's not get into that. Alabama wins this one. Next matchup, Kent State and Iowa. Iowa, top 5 team in the country. They're number 5. They destroy Kent State at home. Next matchup, Georgia Tech at Clemson. Clemson, great team. Worse than last year. They're still a great team, though. Number 6 in the country. I think that says enough. Clemson wins. Next matchup, Tulsa and Ohio State. One of the, craziest games I've witnessed this year. Ohio State and Oregon. I really thought that Ohio State was going to win just because Oregon had that very, very close call against, I believe, Fresno State. And I just couldn't pick Oregon. But they beat Ohio State, so can't really say anything now. Ohio State wins this one, though. Next matchup, Georgia Southern and Arkansas. Arkansas bulldozed over Texas last week. Horns down, baby. Texas decided to join the SEC, and, they get beat in their first SEC matchup. So, Arkansas wins this one. They're number 20 in the country. Next matchup, South Carolina and Georgia. Georgia, number 2 team in the country. Best defense in the country. Georgia wins. Next up, we have Stony Brook and Oregon. Oregon jumped to the top 5 after their win last week. They're number 4 in the country, 2-0. And after that last week's win, they're definitely winning. Oregon wins. We have our official college game day game in Happy Valley, Auburn and Penn State. Now, I think that Happy Valley is one of the hardest places to play in college football. You know what? It is the hardest place to play in college football. And it's a whiteout. I just don't get how teams can beat Penn State at Penn State. Penn State, I think it will be pretty close, but I think they'll win 31-21, 10-point win. Tulane and Ole Miss. Ole Miss, number 17 team in the country. Tulane 1-1, almost came out with the win against Oklahoma in week 1, but Ole Miss wins this one at home. Next matchup, number 19 Arizona State and number 23 BYU. BYU, 2-0. Both these teams are 2-0, and it's at BYU. I think I gotta go with BYU. Next matchup, Fresno State and UCLA. UCLA 2-0. I think they've shown that they're a great team, that they're not overrated. They beat LSU at home a few weeks ago. UCLA wins. And our final matchup for the night, Virginia and North Carolina at Kenan Stadium tonight. I'm gonna be there. Look for me on TV. UNC favored by 8 points. We did great last week, but I did see some problems last week, even when we won 59-17. But hopefully this week we can overcome those problems and get the win, like I do think we will. North Carolina wins. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up for this week of picks. Tune in